Hey there, I'm Andrea Baillo from Rooted for Success, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing one of my clients and friends, Angelique Zerillo. She is the co-founder, editor-in-chief, and CEO of Bloom Magazine, where she is bringing a bigger conversation to the Midwest. Thank you so much for being here, Angelique.
Thank you, Andrea. Appreciate it. Love the invite, and it's great to reconnect.
Awesome. So we're going to talk today about, we're going to have a few questions about that highlight your experience working with me and what it looked like before we started working together, what shifted along the way, and how things are feeling for you now. Sound good?
Amazing. Sounds great.
All right. So before we started working together, what was going on for you as a leader in your role? And what were you juggling or struggling with at that time?
Well, at the time that we started working together, which was about a year ago almost, I had just been invited to launch a publication with my partner. Entrepreneurship being what it is, that quickly and rapidly evolved from being an editor of a magazine to being nominated CEO of a company. So the funnel was fast and furious. The job duties and description of what I thought I was jumping into changed rapidly. I was game because I was passionate about the build, passionate about the content that we wanted to put together because it's really needed for the industry that we work in. But realized, all the common sense things that you would probably do when you're getting ready to lift and launch a company, I didn't have that runway for. I didn't have the time for business plans and pro formas and things. I jumped into something where half of the assets were already built. So I kind of had an interesting puzzle piece. And some pieces were missing, but I needed to rapidly get that puzzle together and get it off to a printer, honestly, and get it out into the general public's hands. So I'm a pretty adaptive person, pretty resilient, pretty creative, but I was just moving at a Mach 3 pace, getting it done, getting the work product done, but not taking care of myself in the process, not thinking about the operational, the organizational build. So I was quickly hitting a wall. And that's when you and I came together and I was like, okay, this girl needs to pump the brakes and press pause because can I get the work done? Of course I can. But can I build a company around it? I'm going to need some help and some resources around that. So that's where I was. That's where I was at the start when we had our meet cute moment.
That's great. And so then during our time together, what insights or shifts made the biggest difference for you?
Well, can I talk about your coaching style a little bit? Is that okay?
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Because I'm a former D1 athlete. And so I think that in my, what is a coach? What's my definition of a coach? My definition of a coach is someone who has always been fairly prescriptive in my world. This is what we're going to do. Here's the game plan, right? Here's the order of operations. Here's your role. Here's your duties. Here's your expectations. You're either going to hit the mark or you're not, right? It's going to be very clear. When you're looking at through a lens of leadership and business and being an entrepreneur and not having that backup, not having the team behind you, you're building the team around you, right? Having those reflexive moments to be okay, pause. You're going Mach 3. What do you want? What do you need? Asking yourself those questions and trusting that you have those answers. I was not in that headspace, not at all. But the way that you worked with me, and it was honestly, can I swear? It was so effing uncomfortable. Honestly, it was so effing uncomfortable because you would say, well, what do you think? I mean, I felt like I was in a psychiatry session, honestly, initially, not a coaching session, but it was a good thing because it pushed me. It pushed me to dig into skill sets and knowledge sets that I have, but I wasn't actually knitting together for my current fire or my current goal or target. So, your questions, the way that you phrase things, the way that you were doing an inquiry, and then you'd pause and you'd really wait for me to come up with the answer and talk through it. And that's the word salad, verbal garbage vomit that we have to work out, right? As humans, where it's I think, and then you finally get to that point and you say something that is a moment of insight and clarity. And you're like, what I heard you say was, and I was like, oh shit. I do know what to do. like, yeah, I might be under-resourced. Yeah, my time might be pressed, but like she actually helped me find the answer because it was like just messed up in like the guck that's up here right now in the chaos of my current build, right?
Yeah, thank you so much for explaining it that way, because it's exactly how I always tell people. They always thank me for everything I've done, but I'm like, at the end of the day, like, you have all the answers, and I'm just here to give you the space to think about it. And like you said, the word salad or whatever's coming out, like, all of that's in your brain. You just haven't said it before, and so you need a space to say that and hear yourself say it, and then you know what the answer is.
Yeah. It's that permission to kind of press pause long enough to allow yourself the space to like populate the mad libs of your world, right? Like, oh, yes, I actually do have a good word for that. Oh, yes, I do have a good solution. But it doesn't feel like it when you're moving so fast or when you're getting pulled in a million directions by outside parties, right? Because you just don't have time. And we honestly need time. Like, that from a neuroscience perspective, like, that's what we need. We need those moments of pause for like solutions to fill in, right? So if nothing else, get a damn coach on your calendar to be able to have a moment of clarity and pause, honestly.
Absolutely. Okay, so then now, how are things different for you now? And like in how you lead or make decisions, or the time you give yourself with the magazine and the other priorities that you're working on?
Well, I'm glancing down right now at my desk blotter, and today we're halfway through the month of October. Tomorrow actually marks the 1-year anniversary of my LLC formation on our business. So this is like nice timing, isn't it? Thank you. And everybody knows that first year is a grind, right? And I would say that we're still dealing with a lot of the same struggles and challenges that we were dealing with a year ago because, it's 2025. The economy is like sideways. Everyone's feeling it in every single sector, right? There might be solutions, but they might not be accessible to us right now. So I think that something that we worked on together and that you helped me dig out of my depths and resources was that awareness that like everything's going to be uncomfortable. Like, that is the nature of entrepreneurship. That is the nature of not having all the things figured out, having to fly a ship that's not completely built, honestly, with a flight path maybe not even completely mapped out because you're just working from phase to phase to phase, from goal to goal to goal. And even your 3-year, 5-year, 10-year, whatever, like those things might not be realistic targets yet, right? Because things are constantly changing underneath you. So what we worked out and what you kind of helped me pull out was like getting comfortable in the uncomfortable. And that's just where I am. Like, I'm a fairly mindful person, but I don't like discomfort. I really don't. So like being able to pause and breathe and like, and honestly, like, full disclosure, I don't hide my age, but I turned 50 this past year. So like, I am of a generation of women where we're just supposed to get up, grind it out, and actually not bitch, moan, or groan about some of this stuff, right? So like now I'm getting comfortable also saying like, hey, these things are not okay. I don't have the resources that I need. We have to table some things, like things are out of order, but like I am really getting comfortable with being comfortable in the uncomfortable and knowing that this is not a forever state. This is just a now state, right? And so long as I'm being able to put words to that too, to everyone around me, and not making excuses or apologizing for things that aren't my fault, right? That's something too that I think that is part of the fabric of me as a leader, that 90s girl that's like, oh, I was taught that it's all my responsibility. I must jug it all. I must show up perfect in every form, in every lane. No, some of this stuff is beyond my damn control. And honestly, it's not my effing fault. So like, here we go. Let's all work together. Let's face in the same direction. And then maybe we can get through the discomfort together, right? I think that that's actually what leaders need to know, is that like your authenticity and your transparency around your struggles and the things that you're juggling and trying to keep live in midair, talk about it. Don't hide it. Your team needs to know, your clients and customers need to know too, so long as it doesn't affect your business, right? So.
Absolutely. And, even just like you saying, like everybody should get a coach. I have a coach, right now. And it's someone, I always have a coach, right? They're on my personal board, right? I do need someone to be able to bounce ideas off. I need validation, right? Like there's certain things I need to do that I don't need to bother my friends and family with. So that are related to my business and I understand what I'm doing,
I love that you said personal board, because I think that's a problem, that if we divide our world into two lanes, right? Personal and professional, like a lot of our personal connections don't understand some of the challenges and the struggles, especially some of the very unique ones or the niche ones that are in relation to your sector, right? And the sector that you and I both had worked in and how we know each other, like that's very unique. We have a lot of challenges and struggles, and that's not something that I can talk to my girlfriend about that works in healthcare, or my sister that works in that is a fine artist. You know what I mean? Like this is just complete Greek to them. So getting a personal board together too, I think that also has some key people that understands like the unique challenges that you are battling with, so that you have a little bit of a sounding board, I think is really critical too. Like I have a friend right now who is wanting to build something in the healthcare space that is kind of mapping onto what I'm doing. And it's accidental personal board member +1 this past year, because she's the one that's like, I see what you're doing, and not a lot of other people see it. I see you, and damn if that isn't important too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, this was such a great conversation. I really appreciate you sharing your story, and even more than that, honestly, it's trusting me with to be a part of it. And it's just been such a privilege to watch you grow and evolve. And like I said, where you started and where you are now. I mean, you became a CEO, girl,
I call it the accidental CEO, but it's not accidental, right? Because it's based on all of the former versions of you, all of your professional deck that stacks up. And when you show up in the right place in the moment, and everybody in the room looks at you like, yeah, she's got to do this because she's the only one here that can, right? So
I think that's how it happens for a lot of people, to be honest. So
yeah.
But yeah, this is, just such a great reminder that leadership isn't about doing more, right? It's creating the space to think clearly and lead intentionally. So if anyone is watching this right now or watching the recording, and you're interested in reclaiming your time, strengthening your teams, but adapting new strategies to be a more confident and calm leader, I'd be happy to have a conversation and see what's possible for you. You can comment interested below, or you can send me a private message. I'll also add some other details in the description where you can find ways to connect with me. But thank you so much again.